Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello once again, welcome back to How to Paint Watercolours with me, Colin. This is a £140 Saunders Waterford paper and I've done my little sketch. And as usual, I've stretched the paper and I'm just leaving a thin film of water on the paper, removing the excess water from around the sides to prevent any runbacks, allowing you to paint right up to the edge of your paper. This is a mixture Naples yellow and cadmium orange, and we're just going to float this in with a flat brush. Mix some cadmium orange in. Cadmium orange and cadmium red, just to produce a reddy glow. And with some cadmium yellow light, I want to bring some of this in. Let all this mingle and merge, just to create some interesting colours. This is indigo, Prussian blue. Put this in the top part of the sky. Bringing it together gently. I'm going to just drop some in down here as well. Indigo, Prussian blue in here again. And as it hits the orange, it will turn grey. Be careful coming into the yellow that you don't mix it too much and create a green. Bring some down here. Bring the colours together. This just helps to unify the painting. This is a stronger version, indigo Prussian blue, but this has a touch of burnt umber. We're just going to add this in to parts of these clouds. Making these a bit lighter as we come down. Bring some wispy bits in here. This is all wet into wet. Just using the chisel edge of this brush just to drop the colour in. And once again, I'm just bringing some down here. And before we move on to the second stage, we have to let this, as you can see, the shine of the colours where the water is on the paper, and we need that shine to disappear, but the paper's still left damp, and we'll put some stronger clouds in so that they don't spread as far. Once again, removing the excess paint from around the edge with a big flat brush, and now we're going to leave this for about maybe 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes for it to all dry off, and you'll end up with, as you can see the shine, that it's too wet. You will end up with a velvet looking painting where the paint is a bit like the cloth on a pool table or a snooker table, and that's what it will look like, and then it's ready for some more paint. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes now, and this is a stronger mixture of the indigo Prussian blue and burnt umber. We're just going to softly put the bottom edge of this cloud in This will still be able to drift because the paper is still damp. As you can see, it's just moving nicely, and I just want the edge of this to soften. Bring some trailing edge of the clouds off. You can take it off the paper. Just bring some in here. Very tiny wisps. Strengthen it up in just one or two areas just to allow some variation. Now we're going to leave this now to completely dry. Welcome back. I've just got the board tilted at about a 30-degree angle, and with some clean water, run some water into those background hills and into that indigo Prussian blue, which is just your sky colour. And I'm also going to wet the trees here in the background. I was going to make them faint but hard, but I think I've decided to paint them misty. Now I could have done this before the sky dried out, but what I'm show you here is you can actually do it afterwards. Okay, this is indigo Prussian blue with some viridian and burnt umber added, and we'll just test this first. Just remove the drop of that. We just want to see what it looks like. Okay, pull the tops out just to keep them crystal clear. And then just where you have the water, just pull the colour into it, and you'll get a soft effect and a hard edged effect at the same time. Adding more of the colour. Pull the trees together so that they overlap as they would do in the wild. A bit darker as we come down towards the ground. Then just allow that to hit the ground where the water is. Just put a few drops of colour. Just taking a damp brush, just moving this around a little bit, just to create a bit of a furry edge. I might just encourage the top of this to be fuzzy. So it's a damp brush once again, and I'm just running it across the top line just to diffuse the edge. And then with a darker mixture of the same colour, but this has more indigo Prussian blue and burnt umber in with just a slight hint of viridian, and we might just add a couple of shadows underneath. Bring a bit into the tree, but not everywhere. Twigs coming off the top here. Same with this one. And I just want to take some of the dark mixture once again. Just mix it with a bit of the cloud colour to these background hills. And we'll just add a shadow side. Just allowing it all to drift together and fade. Just removing a little paint, just adds a little bit of mystery to the ground at the back. Once again, just encouraging this fuzzy edge. Okay, now we have to leave this to dry. Okay, now your hills, background hills have dried, and so is the tree area. I've just taken some of the indigo and Prussian blue, and I've just let it down, and we're just going to paint this area in here, and I'm going to let this run out of paint for a dry brush and add some sparkle to the top of this lake area here. And then just paint the rest in. Just about up to there. Softening that top edge with a damp brush. And into that, your cloud colour. Just adding a few streaks. Darker down towards as it comes closer to you. And now with your green colour, I just want to add some more sky colour to the green, which was the Viridian Indigo Prussian Blue with burnt umber, and we're just going to darken this, and then we're just going to just check it first. Yeah, that looks dark enough. Okay, I'm just going to put the first tree in, soften off the bottom, bring the tree into the ground, adding a little bit more paint should it need it. Then we can add some individual twigs and leaves, and as you can see, this will be a little bit of a slow job, so I'll do a few of these just so you get the general idea. And I'm just tapping, that's all I'm doing. Bringing the top of that tree out a little bit. Some stick and twig hanging out. So I'm just tapping it in. There's nothing difficult about this. And you just come down your tree all the way, nice and slowly. Making the tree wider as you come down towards the bottom. Okay, this should take 10 minutes, and do the same to this tree as well, and I'll join you when that's done. Okay, welcome back. Now we're just going to the end of this one, and I think I'm going to stop it there and just put some twigs and sticks in, just for a bit more dark. The same colour with more Prussian blue and burnt umber added, and I'm just going to run that in, just creating a real dark edge. Now this is paled off, I'm just going to re-establish the dark parts, the streaks. And then okay, now then we need to leave this to dry a little bit before we put the back section of the land in, before we can bring it forward. So this now has to dry. Okay, now that your trees are dry, what I want to do, as we're coming forward, I want to put a couple of rocks in here, but I want some colours to show through. So I'm just going to add some cadmium orange here, and I want to bring some clean water around the back of the trees, and I'm going to try to create a little paler area from the back of the trees as we're coming forward, which will allow the trees to stand out. Then with some of your green colour once again, just gently drop this in. Allowing it to go soft edged. Then with your bigger brush, same mixture as your trees, Prussian blue, indigo, viridian green, and burnt umber. I'm just going to lay this in over the rocks and over the orange. And I want this to be really sort of dark in this area, because we will lighten the foreground to add another plane, another layer, so to speak, in your painting. Don't be frightened of adding darks. You need the dark to help show the light patches up. It's the same in oil painting. Now we're going to leave this a few moments or two just to dry a little bit, and then we will put some rocks in down here, and then we'll move on to the foreground. Okay, I'll just give this a couple of minutes to dry a little bit, but it's still wet, and hopefully with an old card we should be able to scrape a rock or two in. And I think I am going to leave it like that, just taking the excess off the bottom so it can't run back. Okay, now all this has to dry. Okay, now that this is dry, what we're just going to do is re-wet the last part here. Back to the green again. Just making it lighter at the top, as I said I would. And I'm not going to do a great deal with this, as I think there's enough in the foreground without making it too cluttered. And I'm just softening this painting on the edges here. Sweeping it up from the bottom. think really that's about all I want to do. Soften this edge in again. Give it a smooth transition. Take a little paint out on the top. Okay, then we're going to leave this to dry. Okay, this is the best bit. This is where you get to sign it, put a mount around it and frame it. I'd like to thank you for all for watching very much, and please click the like button and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. All subscribers are welcome. This is over 100 videos now I've made for YouTube on watercolor painting, so I think if you have a look in the description box, I will put a link and that will take you straight to them should you wish to view any more. Thank you very much for watching.